Hey, yo, Ren, turn that up.
What's up, real world? It's your girl Dayla. Needless to say, we're back. The podcast is definitely back. It is now called Gotta Have That. It was called Need That. For those that know, for those that don't, now you do. I renamed it because I found out that it was doing some research. I found out that there was like another whole production that had Need That, and they were posting and everything before I even started posting my episodes last year. So I didn't want to ever run into that problem, and I'm just a firm believer if you had it first, then you had it first. It's that simple. So, I brainstormed while we were finishing up the series of shows, episodes last year. I was like, I know I need a new name, and I went back and brainstormed with guys, seeing what he was giving me for the time, and Gotta Have That came, so I went with it and ran. So we here, Gotta Have That podcast. I love it as much as I love Need That, honestly. But yeah, it's the same concept. It's still something that's under the umbrella of Royal Vision, the brand Royal Vision that I created a few years back, and we just been rocking ever since, honestly. So I want to just quickly get into the episode. Like, I'm not really trying to be on here too long and on your screen too long. I wanted to do a reintroduction, as you can see. A reintroduction simply because I've had this in the... Okay, we're just going to throw that to the side. I wanted to do a reintroduction because for those who don't know anything about it, simply because you just didn't know about it, you don't follow me on social media, so you never saw it, or you don't follow anybody who have been reposting it and things of that sort, talking about it. So I was just like, I want to still give an introduction, a proper introduction to the podcast and to the brand. And then for those who have been here since the first episode last year with my big brother, and those who do follow me on social media, I want them to really get a full glimpse and a full understanding of what this is and why it is. So like I said, I really just wanted to get into it. I got some questions up here that was pre-written, so I'm gonna just go off the questions and we're gonna go from there. So for one, welcome back. I'm sorry, I don't know if I even said that. Welcome back. Definitely grateful and happy that you even came, that you looked at the screen and said, you know what, I do want to watch that. Let me see what she's talking about, or who is that. I'm curious to know what they're talking about, who this is and why this is, which is another reason why I wanted to do this for the first episode. Well, not first episode, but for us, the first episode, yes, of us coming back. I wanted to do the introduction for that, for those, again, who don't know. So got that out the way, did the whole welcome and all of that. Okay, great. So what is the full reason / point of Royal Vision and Need That, which is now, of course, Gotta Have That? So full reason of it, I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible. Once I realized, sorry, again, let me just go all the way back. My name is Dayla Davis. Again, for those who don't know me, Dayla Davis. I'm 26 years old. I am the host of this podcast, Gotta Have That Podcast, as well as the creator, director, editor, everything. And I'm also the creator of Royal Vision. If you see my shirt, I don't know if you can really see it for real, but if you see the shirt, you see the big eye, and then you see the eye right here behind me to my left. Royal Vision, and we're going to get into what Royal Vision is. Again, that was the first question. Okay, so the full reason and point of Royal Vision and the podcast, I'm going to go with the brand first. So the reason of Royal Vision was simply, so once I once I got notice of what my purpose was on this earth, I am an individual who dealt with depression, like bad depression. And in that time, I didn't want to be here. Like I kind of went through that feeling throughout my childhood, but didn't understand it. Throughout my adulthood, again, I'm only 26, so my early 20s, late teens, I was really like, I'm tired of being here. Really early 20s. It was really my early 20s, not even late 20s, teens. But my early 20s, I was really getting to the point like, I'm tired of being here, bro. I literally don't see a purpose of me being here. I don't get why I'm here. I don't get why you created me. I'm over it. Get me up out of here. Take me. Like, I don't even care how it goes. I don't care what the end result is. I just want to be done with this earth. And he didn't allow me to, because I tried to take myself out a couple of times. I don't want to over exaggerate. A couple of times. And both of those times, one just didn't work. The other time, he threw logic in there, letting me know I wasn't going to die. And then the fact that since I'm not going to die, because I tried to like crash my car, since you're not going to die, you're going to have medical bills. You're going to have to pay for another car. You're going to have to pay for the person's car if you end up hurting someone else. What if you end up killing somebody else and not killing yourself? How you going to live with that? It was just a lot of logical things God really started placing in my mind, where I was like, okay, fine. I'm over trying, but something got to give. Like, I got to know at least why I'm here so I can start working toward that, so I can know what I'm supposed to be doing here, because now I just feel like I'm a sitting duck. I just feel like I'm here. I just feel like I'm a shallow shell that's just roaming the earth. I want to feel myself again. I want to, be happy again and joyful. So, in those prayers, in those moments of being very vulnerable with God and talking to him and asking him to please show me, tell me my purpose, he did. He sent someone who was very close to me. He's like a big brother / like uncle / just mentor, I guess you can say. So when I grew up under in my home church, and I remember he came to me on a random day and was like, God's been dealing with me about you, and I want him to stop, so I have to tell you this. And I was just like, okay. And he told me what my purpose was, and he was talking about like me being like glue. And I was just like, okay, like it made sense, because I talk to my friends, especially around that time. Like when me and my friends have conversation, if they have a problem, they do ask me for my opinion. With my family, my role is not it's not like it is with my friends, but I can still see how I am the glue there. And then with random people, I can see how I'm the glue there. So I'm like, okay, well, I got my purpose. Cool, great. Now, what do I do with it? How do I work in it? How do I become and work towards the person that you want me to become, the person that you created to be on this earth? How do I do that? And literally throughout my last year of college, because this question was, he told me that I would assume it was like the summer before my last year of college. Maybe. I want to say that's when he told me. So that last year for sure, I'm just like, okay, God, well, I want to know what I'm supposed to do to work in it, because that's what we're here for, to work in our purpose. We're here to literally fulfill our purpose. So how do I do that? What is it that you want me to do? And I'm a poet, so I was already doing my poetry. I was already writing, but I wasn't like posting or anything too much yet. So I started there. So I'm like, okay, that might be what it is. It might be my poetry. Maybe I will be like a Maya Angelou. Maybe I will be, one of them people, them influential people, to where I don't do too much. But the quote unquote little bit that I do, which is the poetry, will open so many doors for me to do anything else that I'm supposed to do in life. So, like I said, I posted up the poetry. And in that time that I'm posting and everything, that's all cool and dandy. But then within 3 months, the Word Podcast was given to me. First was in my mind, like it was just a random thought one day. The second one, someone I know, we was in church, me and one of my cousins are talking, and we can never take each other serious. And I don't even know what service it was, honestly, but I just know me and him, he and I, or however that goes, we are cracking each other up. We're just talking and laughing, right? And apparently we had her laughing as well, because she was sitting in the pew in front of us, and she just like turned her back and was like, y'all should do a podcast, like y'all are funny. And I was just like, me just, knowing my cousin as much as I do, this thing is gonna get on my nerves. Okay, me knowing my cousin as much as I do, I'm like, I don't think he gonna do a podcast. And it was like, guys, like, no, it wasn't really for him, it was for you. And I'm like, okay, cool, well, all right, well, that's the second time I heard podcast. Like, I know I'm not tripping. Like, by this point, I have a pretty good relationship with God to where I know when he's trying to get something to you, he's going to do it in different ways to let you know, yeah, that's me, stop playing, right? So then I'm like, okay, well, I'll do it, but I got to have some folks. Like, I'm not going to just be up there by myself, God. Like, come on now, your girl. Like, I'm not that person to just sit there and talk to a camera. And, like, I don't even know how to, like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, not even saying that I'm not doing that, but I'm just like, nah, I can't. I need some people with me. So then he did something that was absolutely hilarious to me. He sent two of my friends to me. Two of my homeboys, they hit me up randomly in February, because, again, it happened 3 months straight. They hit me up randomly in February while I'm doing some homework, and they asked me if I still have my YouTube page. And I was doing, like, at first it was more like a vlogging thing. But again, I am not that person to just be on camera all day. So I'm like, yeah, I still got the YouTube page. I haven't posted in a while, but I still got it. And they're like, okay, we've been thinking about doing a podcast. I'm like, okay, well, that's the third time. And these are my guys. And if they're saying they're trying to do a podcast, that's everything. It's lined up. All right, God, I already told you I'll do it if you send me somebody. You sent them. Let's do it. So I remember just brainstorming. I remember being at work and just thinking of titles and thinking of, logos, thinking of, what else? Thinking of scripts, like what could we talk about? What's interesting? What's something that's interesting enough to talk about and listen to? Like, what's what? And with our timing and schedules, it did not work out to where we were going to be able to do it together. They living in my hometown, I'm living where I'm living. So I'm like, it's not, we saw that it wasn't working out. So I remember being, turn the mic down. I remember being, it might have been another conversation me and God was having, but I just remember feeling, it's not rushed, but more of like, okay, like, that's still a thing. We're still making this happen. We're not sleeping on it just because this is not able to happen. This specific thing is not able to happen, but that I still want happening. You know what I mean? So I was just like, okay, so that means I'm going to have to do it by myself. And I remember hitting them up, and I'm just like, hey, y'all, look, I'm going to go with it. And I remember I didn't want them to feel like I took an idea they brought to me, picked it up, and just went on and forgot about them. And that was something I was worried about. I'm an overthinker. So I was just like, please don't let that be. But it wasn't. They completely understood. And they was like, again, schedules was just schedules. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Well, I still got my boys. They don't feel no type of way about it. Okay, cool. So I know I have a podcast. I know I do my poetry. What is this under, though? At the time I was watching Kevin Hart. Still do. I watch a lot of interviews and podcasts. And I remember at a point in time, if it wasn't those specific months, it was like the year before or something, within the last 6 months at the time, I remember watching Kevin Hart was on a run. I can't remember what was coming out. That's when he had a few things just coming back to back. And I remember him on that press run, he was talking about how he's the brand. Kevin Hart is the brand. And I loved his explanation of it. I understood it, and I remember saying, like, I mean, it's smart, but I'm like, that's That's what I want. I want something that's going to represent me. I don't want to be the face of it. I don't care to be the face of it. You do not have to make me the face. But I do want something that represents me, represent what I believe in, and represent people who I feel are like me, people who have gone through depression, people who have felt unheard, unseen, and whether they have already made it out of it, or they're fighting through it now, or they don't even know that's what they're going through. I want to touch them people the most. Everybody else, I want to touch them too, because I want something that's going to touch everybody, but I want them to know that we're here together. Okay, so what's the brand? And I remember going through a conversation, a literal conversation, where I'm like, okay, I used to call myself royalty. For those who know. For those who don't, I did. Like 12th grade year of high school up until like third year of college, where I'm actually introducing myself as royalty. And that came out, again, I dealt with depression. So that came out of me knowing that I need something to give me that feeling every day. I need something that when I wake up, because I didn't have it in myself yet. I didn't have it within myself to pick myself up and let's go. I didn't have that. I had lost that by that point. So I'm like, I need something that's going to remind me who I am. Remind me of who I am. I looked my name up in the dictionary, in the Urban Dictionary, and the definition that I had saw for my name was related to what royalty is. People follow her, they bow down to her, something like that, something of the sort, to where it was like, okay, like you are more than what you give yourself credit for. So I'm like, I need to start giving myself credit more. So royalty came out of that. Again, another story for another time. And I was like, okay, well, I don't call myself royalty anymore, but I carry that, which is why I don't have to say it. I carry it. Okay, cool. I carry it. All right. So I don't call myself royalty, but I am royal. Okay, I like that. Royal what? Royal what? I was like, well, you do be giving me these visions. And instantly, I stopped talking. And it was like he was saying, not even like, I heard him say, that's it. Royal vision. And then my favorite number, my basketball number, is 5. So I'm like, okay, instead of the S, let's put a 5 in there. I looked it up so I could have my research together. And I saw that 5 meant all these things that I literally believed in and carried. And if not carried yet, I was working toward carrying. Freedom, grace. And it was so many other things that I was just like, that's the one. Okay. So that was literally my confirmation within itself of this is it. Like, that's what it is. And I just remember hearing God, like, don't worry about that, because this is something I gave you. This is not something that you just came up with, because God knows me just sitting here talking to you like this is not something that I'm fully comfortable with. I've became more comfortable because we have been working. But especially in the beginning, I was very nervous. Like, wow, so that means I'm really about to be talking on a mic to like a camera, and then I have to post it up and then wait for people to say something. Like, wow, okay. And I'm terrible with social media, trying to do better, but terrible with social media. So it was nerve-wracking, but it was confirmation. It was something that I was going to have to do. So that's, again, the reason of Royal Vision was to issue something to people that was going to help them with their quote-unquote issues. And I'm playing off of words right now because I just did something with my cousin. He has this thing. He has this thing called issues, and we talk about what issues is, what it means, what it looks like, this, that, and other. Y'all should most definitely join. Follow me on socials. You saw it in the intro, so you can see the next time we have an issues. We just had one on the 3rd of April. So definitely come through, see what, follow us so you can see when we have another one, because it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time that we have. But anyway, back to it. How did you feel starting it? I felt nervous. It was a certain word, or maybe that's another question. I felt nervous, but confident. That's what it is. Nervous yet confident, because I was nervous because, again, this is something new to me. This is something that I don't just do. This is not me dancing. This is not me writing a poem just for me. This is not me goofing around with my cousins. This is not me goofing around with friends. This is Dayla being Dayla, a version of Dayla that people see but sometimes don't know how to handle. You know what I mean? I've been told that I'm too deep. Why you always like looking for the deeper meaning? Like, well, why not? You know, I'm that person. So I have to be on camera and do this one thing that I had some point thought was a flaw of mine. But yes, nervous yet confident. I was confident because, again, it was something that God himself gave me. This was not something that came from Dayla. I'm like, are you sure I'm supposed to be doing that? So the fact that I got the confirmation in many ways of, yes, you're supposed to be doing this. Yes, you're going to be doing this. I just been confident in it. God wanted me to do this thing. I'm happy. I'm just happy at the fact that I'm doing it. I'm happy at the fact that I'm actually going for it. And then I became more passionate about it. And I'm going to always trust God. It was more of just believing in myself, for real. How long did it take you to really do it? I would say about 10 to 12 months. 10 months to a year. Because, again, he gave me the first time I heard podcasts, like really heard it clearly, was like in December of 2021. And then I didn't like fully say yes until February of 2022 because my homeboys hit me up about it. I'm like, heck yeah, we about to be out here. This jump about to be funny because we funny. Like when we get together as well, I feel like everybody's like that. When you're around people that you're comfortable with, it's easier. But it didn't work out that way. So from February to May, I'm just like, I hear you. It's just going to be me. Okay, cool. It's still a yes. Because what do I look like telling you no for real? And no matter how nervous I am. So for me to start writing stuff down, it took about 10 to 12 months. No, I'm sorry. For me to start writing stuff down, it took from December to May. But for me to actually like record the first episode, it was April the following year. So April 2023. We didn't start recording until the 8th of April. And we didn't drop until 23rd of April of last year. So it was about a full year, 10 months, depending on, how you look at it. What's 5 things you've learned from it? 5 things I learned from it. I learned how to believe in myself more, like to go after it. I learned how to not pay attention to the chatter more. Because when you go after something, folks are going to have their opinion. And you have to really just stand strong on what you know. I learned how to set this up. This whole like interface, mic, headphones, computer, laptop, all of that. I learned how to do that. I learned to let go of my opinion of it. My opinion does not matter unless it's going to benefit what I'm doing here. And that's how I see it. Like I felt like I'm awkward on camera. I felt like I hate hearing my voice playback. I felt like, and it was like, none of that matters because it's still going to happen. So get used to it. Get over it. I don't think I learned that from this, but I still want to put it in there. Learning how to appreciate people in the place that they are in your life, if that makes sense. I will elaborate so it can make more sense. But everyone that's in your life is not going to support you on every single thing. And it's not because they don't support you, but sometimes it's just simply they don't see it. So you make them see it. They don't hate them because of it. Don't be mad at them because of it. It's no hard feelings. Some people just don't see where you are going because they're so focused on where you are. And when that happens, you just have to show them where I am has nothing to do with where I'm going. But yeah, I would say that's the 5 things. How have you felt since you started it in 2023? How have I felt? I felt accomplished, yet motivated. I felt accomplished, or I feel accomplished because I started it. I feel motivated because I know it's more that I'm doing. I know there's more. But the fact that I started it, that lets me know that I'm at least going toward it. You know what I mean? And that's something that's really, really important, because starting is so hard sometimes. It really is. It's very hard sometimes. Starting to go to the gym, starting to read your Bible. I'm speaking personal. Starting to be organized, starting to clean up. Like, sometimes the start is harder than the journey a lot of times. And I feel motivated because, again, I know it's more that's out there. I know there's more that is literally designed just for me, or I'm designed for. And it's going to happen. And I know it's going to happen because I started here. I started it. I did it. And if you have any questions, like, let me put this disclaimer out there now. Sorry, I was about to say need that. Gotta have that community. It's a thing. Hit us up on socials if you have questions. If you like, hey, I don't think you answered enough questions the first episode, or I feel like can we get more of your story? Can we get more of this? Can we get more of that? Let me know you want to know, and I will tell you, because I'm here for that. I'm here to be your person, the person that you feel like is saying exactly what you want to say, the person that you feel like, oh my gosh, like, I know she don't know me, but I feel like she knows me. Understand, like, you're more than welcome to hit me up on the socials. If I take a minute to get back to you, be patient with me, but more than welcome. And that's really the end of this episode. Like I said, I wasn't trying to be on here too long. I didn't want to be on the screen too long, because it was just a reintroduction of what this is, what is the brand, what is Royal Vision, what is Gotta Have That, who is Dayla, and like, why are you here? Why are you on my screen? Why are you even on my For You? This is why. I absolutely love this. I've learned more and more how to love it as I became more passionate about it. I absolutely love it, and I absolutely love y'all, those that have reached out, those that do support in any and everything that we post, put up, put out, work on, anything. I see the support, I feel the love, and I greatly, greatly appreciate y'all. This is Gotta Have That. My name is Dayla. I am your host, and I want you to always stay positive, stay purposeful, stay loving, and most of all, stay royal. I'll see you.